Of cosplayers.
Okay. Oh, okay. They're gonna do cosplay, and then they might go into mommy shoes and do mermaids too.
My youngest maybe, but my oldest definitely not. She's not really into the whole mermaid thing. My youngest is a little bit though.
Maybe the youngest can inspire the oldest.
Maybe the oldest is more of an artist and a little bit more into anime and creation than she is into, diving and sport, which is kind of what I do. I sort of married both of them together a little bit.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. And plus, I can see all the manga on your
Oh,
shelf right
yes,
there.
we're big fans. I've got both my daughters are named after anime characters and I've got anime tattoos. Like we're in it.
Because didn't you say you got accepted to a convention on us? Well, you got invited to a convention.
I
Is that what?
did. I did. I got my panel idea that I submitted got accepted for Anime North 2026. And I'm very excited about that. It's not my first convention that I've done. I've done other conventions as a panelist or a teacher. But this is my first time teaching at Anime North after I believe the first time I went to Anime North was 2005.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my first time at Anime North, and then a couple years ago, my daughters got to go for the first time as fellow cosplayers. So it's like a second generation thing for our household, Anime North. So it was a really big deal for me, and my panel got accepted. So I was very
well, I can't wait to see it when you post on your story, so I'll be able to say that's really amazing. And by the way,
yeah,
yes, I have a lot of pop culture stuff. As you see, I got the Avengers up
of
here,
course, naturally.
along with the Batman pop figures. This is the whole Batman Arkham trilogy that I got. They dropped this guy this year, the one that has the bat symbol, and he's sitting on top of it. Here's the thing: when they dropped that announcement last fall, when I got the Arkham City Batman, I was
Mhm.
like, "What? What, Funko? Why do you do this to me?" And I was like, "I guess my Arkham collection isn't complete."
No, it's not. You need more, obviously,
So,
clearly.
so I had no choice. I pre-ordered it, and I was the first one to get the first copy.
Perfect, fantastic. I don't have a whole lot of Funko Pops, but I think the ones that I do have, I have Princess Bride and Sailor Moon. I think my husband has a couple of Kingdom Hearts. That's just a little bit, just a little. Otherwise, Philip, we have a problem with then, but she comes with the wand, but she's holding the wand in the left hand, but now her tiara is it's a problem. It's a problem. We don't do that. Can't do that. I got a household to run here, Philip. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I understand. I understand. So, well, if the small talk is over, listen, I always let us do the small talks first before we get into it. Saying I have everyone's house days going, and we, just get to the main event. So
Oh,
that's
that's
how I
very
use.
kind of you. That's
That's
very
how I
kind
do
of you.
this thing. So, but if the small talk is over, I guess we can get this thing underway.
All
So,
right, let's do it. I'm ready.
yeah. So, greetings, everyone. This is Phil. I'm host of the Conversation Podcast. I know it's late tonight, but I'm making some adjustments here. I have a special guest with me today. Introduce yourself. Who's Mermaid Jacy? I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to our first ever mermaid here.
Yes. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to talk to you, Philip, and to your listeners. My name is Mermaid Jacy. I am a professional, international awarded mermaid performer and awarded author. I also teach full time at Freedive Toronto, and I'm the secretary there. So I am in charge of a huge group of Ontario's freedivers and mermaids. In fact, one of the largest groups in Canada. And I'm very, very proud of that. I founded the Mermaid Grotto there, a group of professional mermaid divers where they gather once a week and we train and we challenge each other and we go out and dive around Ontario and go and collect trash together. So that's another thing that we do. So I do a lot of different things. And this year I have a new adventure, you could say, that I'm on as a finalist for Mrs. Canada as well. So I do lots of different things.
I
So
want to say
that's me.
congratulations and good luck with
Oh,
that
oh,
too. You
thank you.
can.
Oh, Philip, I'm gonna need it, honey. I'm gonna fall. Legs are hard. Legs are hard. I prefer not to have them. I prefer to my tail, but I'm working on the legs, and I it's very difficult. It's very difficult. I'm just hoping I don't fall down.
It feels like Mako Mermaids all over again when they first started in that scene, and then it's like, how do people manage on these things?
Well, it
Crazy
depends
stuff.
on the piece of equipment that you have on.
That is definitely true. That's definitely true. Well, let's start with a little bit of an icebreaker, okay? I want to do a little bit of
Okay.
icebreaker. Now, I have one question for you. Now, have
Hmm.
you ever decided, I've seen some of your posts with the mermaids and everything. I was going to ask, have you ever you know, what was I going to ask? Have you ever teamed up with any other mermaids? Now, I will ask you this. Have you ever teamed up with any mermaids that has like blue hair and blue tails and all that stuff?
Have I ever teamed up with a mermaid that has blue hair and a blue tail? That would have to be Mermaid Diamond. She's an American mermaid. But my reach of mermaids, Philip, goes across the world. I have friends all across Canada, the United States, Mexico, Australia, Japan, Korea, China, South
Wow.
Africa. Once what our community is very small. I would say that the mermaid community in general is way smaller than even the cosplay anime community. We're even smaller than that. And then you have an even smaller community that I'm part of, which is the diving mermaids. So then it gets even smaller. So worldwide, I would say there's probably between 2,000 and 4,000 people that do what I do around the entire world. And so we're fairly familiar with one another. But for blue, I would say that would probably have to be Mermaid Diamond.
Mermaid Diamond. Okay, so not
Mhm.
Mermaid Serena or Mermaid Gleam.
Mermaid Serena and Mermaid Gleam, I have not had the pleasure of working with, but I'm sure that if our paths continue on, we might end up crossing each other's
So,
paths one day. These
so,
jobs are few and far between, Philip.
so it is possible because thing is, I actually talked to Mermaid Gleam 3 days ago, and
Mm.
she's interested to come talk to me. So
Oh,
that'll be exciting to
wonderful.
see. So,
Yes,
so
get
yeah.
another one of us on here.
Well, this is my first time doing something like this, and I was like, well, shoot, I'm trying to be as diverse as possible because I've done so many people up to this point. Because now I got another person on Wednesday, going to be interesting to see. But I'll tell you all about him later. We're here for you tonight. So, but
Thank
yes,
you.
yes, I just wanted to see if you, because I know there's lots of y'all here. Listen, I know the mermaid community is small, but maybe that's not the case because there's lots of y'all out there.
There are lots of people that sort of encompass the mermaid community because it kind of gets broken up into several groups. There's people that live the mermaid lifestyle. They're a little bit more of the eco people. They might even be conscious of what they're eating or how they travel. And then there's mermaid cosplay, right? The mermaid cosplay community, that's a separate branch of the community. And then there's the mermaid divers, which is what I am. So that's an entirely different branch as well. We're all mermaids, we're all merfolk, which is a little bit more of an inclusive word that we use, merfolk, because we have merfolk, mermen, mermaids. And well, we all have our different niches. We all have our different ways of life, and we all have our different ways of approaching the subject of being a mermaid.
Yep, y'all got different perspectives, and
Mhm.
each person and everybody's journey is different as y'all continue to do the mermaid content as well.
That's very
So,
true. That's very true. I am a swimmer, but not a lot of people are. Are they still welcome in the mermaid community? Yes. There's always a space for them.
exactly. Well, now that the ice is broken, let's go ahead and get into the main thing. So, 20 questions, but I divided it up into sections so we can keep track. So,
Alrighty.
let's start with section 1, the origin story from dream to reality. Now, what first sparked your journey into becoming a real life mermaid?
That's a very good question. And this gets a little bit strange, so you're going to have to forgive me.
It's fine.
But
I can handle strange.
yeah, I hope I kind of figured you could, Philip. I think if there's someone who's going to talk to me in the realm of strange, it's definitely going to be yourself able to handle it. Um, Mermaid has always been with me since I was a very young child. My mother would say as long as I could talk or move, I was talking mermaids. Um, it's always something that I've carried. Now, how did I become When did I branch into a professional, or when did I find the diving aspect of it? Was in 2017, I turned to something called free diving, which is the ability to dive under the water and hold your breath for long periods of time for physical and mental health reasons. Then through that, I started to see the first people pop up on my Instagram feed that were doing that, but in mermaid tails. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can do this and look like a mermaid? Yes, the answer is yes. I encountered the first professional mermaid online I encountered was Mermaid Linden. She is an American legend and one of the first American mermaids to dive in aquariums in the United States. Then there's Mermaid Claire from France. And then we have some mermaids here in Canada. I encountered Mermaid Reina from the East Coast and Courtney Mermaid from the West Coast. And then it just sort of went from there. And then I got my diving certifications and now I teach people how to do it. So it kind of, I came at it from diving.
Okay, diver first, mermaid second.
Yes, correct.
And so sometimes you gotta walk before you can run. You know, it's not easy when you get started, but as soon as you like just go after it, it'll get a lot easier once you start doing it and just like getting used to like how it all operates. Because I know most mermaid people, it's like you got to get used to being in so many like sublevel, like lots of water and everything, and lots of chlorine gets in the nose. That's the other part.
Yes, sinus flushing. We can talk about that another time.
So you got to worry about your hair being dried out as well. There's also that too. So, but in your case, you had to learn how to like dive, breathe, swim, all that stuff before you can get into like the professional mermaid business. And you've been doing this for like a lot of years now, like expert. Like I'm pretty much talking to an expert like how the mermaid stuff works.
I would say in regards to the mermaid tier system on let's compare it to education, if you will. I would say I have my associated master's degree in mermaiding, but there are always people that know more and do more than me and that are better at it than me. That's one of the things, no matter what you're doing in life, the wonderful thing that sort of keeps you driven is understanding that there's always someone better than you. Always. There's always someone who's more graceful. They have a better breath hold. They have access to more beautiful swimming areas. They have access to better equipment. They have access to better fill. That's fine. And that's an acceptance that you have to come to, especially myself. I'm a landlocked mermaid. I'm close to Toronto. I don't have a beautiful open body of water near me. So that's why I keep my relationship with my athletic pool that allows us to do what we do here in Toronto. I keep it very squeaky clean. I am very, 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 very good at keeping a good relationship with our sports center that allow a beautiful, clean pool that's 5 meters deep. That's 16 and a half feet. And there's not a lot of places like that in Canada. So yes, but I would, I know a lot. Do I know the most? No, but I think I know quite a bit.
Yeah. And, you just got to, sometimes you just got to adapt. Like if there's not like any like good places near you, you just got to see what you can use at home. Listen, when I'm doing this stuff, I don't have like a studio. Like my room is like pretty much my office. It's like the best way I can do it. But some people do make it big by doing it in their own home office. So
yes, yeah, because again, like I said, being a mermaid is not just about diving, right? I know a lot of mermaids that don't have access to any water at all. Or on the flip side, I know some mermaids who can't swim, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They embrace being a mermaid in different ways of their life because we are advocates for clean water. We're advocates for the environment. We're advocates for beautiful spaces for everyone to go and enjoy, keeping our parks green and keeping nature the way that it is. So that's also a great way to be a mermaid. No shame in that.
Yeah, of course. Keep places clean, all that stuff. Nature's is a nice sight too. Like I've been going to a few parks around my area just to unwind and just to disconnect from everything because it's been a long week. Every week I do that just to get away from everything.
I think that's a really great idea, Philip. And I don't know if you've noticed, but when you walk through the parks in Canada, especially, well, especially in our area around springtime, the garbage that has built up around the trees and the bottom of the is immense. It is immense, and that's really that. Sometimes that's no one's fault. Sometimes it's just the way it goes when the snow comes and the trucks try to pick up the bins and they get knocked over. Sometimes it's no one's fault, and that's okay. Always, finger wagging and stuff doesn't always get the job done. But I would encourage you and maybe some of your listeners that the next time you go on a walk, just take a single glove, take a small plastic bag, and see if you can pick some things up when you're walking about, because it's all of our responsibility. It's not just the city's job, it's all of our jobs.
Of course, definitely. Next up, now, can you take me back to the moment you realized this could be more than just imagination?
Mm.
That could be your reality, because I've seen so many people saying like you couldn't be this
Oh
mermaid or
yeah.
fairy, whatever it is. I just want to see what your thoughts on are about that.
I think that the moment came for me when I said, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this. And it's not that I didn't care that people were telling me no, but there wasn't a whole lot, and to be honest, there isn't a whole lot in our area for mermaid opportunities. But, I had to reach out to a couple of insurance companies and help invent their performance packages to cover people that do what I want to do. There wasn't even an insurance package, Philip, to do what we want to do. They're like, I'm sorry, what do you do? What do you do? So, but I think the moment that it came for reality for me was when I was first sitting with an aquarist at the Toronto Zoo during the pandemic in early 2021, doing what then became our award-winning segment on the American eel. And I was fully dressed as a mermaid, and I'm talking to this university educated aquarist about the American eel. And we had 4,000 to 6,000 children on the live stream all across North America. And the Toronto Zoo won an award for that segment. And I think that's what really got me going, because my first job is an educator. That's my education background, as I teach children. But my full-time job right now is a stay-at-home mom. So I kind of, children were sort of my gateway into realizing that I could do this full time. And this was after I wrote my children's book. So I wrote a children's book, and then I worked with the Toronto Zoo, and then I got to work with an aquarium or education center here in Ontario, and it just kind of took off from there. There was a need for it, so I filled the job.
Okay, I was gonna ask. I'm looking at one of those books. Is that the children's book right there? I see over there.
Yes, this one. Yep, this is my kiddos. This is my kiddos book.
That's the one. That's the one you
This
wrote.
one. Yeah, I wrote that one, and my dear friend from high school illustrated it for me, because I am a firm believer in involving your friends. If you have a creative project, involve the people around you, because chances are they're also creative and wonderful and great.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, I was like, that's got to be the children's book. Like, you're right. But yes,
That's my baby.
children do inspire you to do amazing things, and I think you've seen so many kids movies these days, like because you've seen The Little Mermaid, 1989,
Yes.
with Jodie Benson and all that stuff, and it's like, well, shoot, I was like, I wish I could talk to a real mermaid in real life, and have that kind of experience as well. And trust me, like you'd be surprised how many kids will be looking at TV screens, especially when they did the live action version of that movie with Halle Bailey. Of course, there was some
Mm-hmm.
backlash and racism going on with that, but you still had little black girls coming up and be like, "That's me. That
Oh
could be
yes.
me," and all that stuff.
Oh
You got
yes.
listen. You got to, even in mermaiding or whatever content you're doing, you got to have representation in these things.
Oh yes. Oh yes, very, very much. And I see that on a regular basis, having the privilege to work with all of the mermaids and mermen that I have, especially in case of the mermen, when I get to work with other professionals that are not only amazing divers, but quite often they are professional theater people, and having children from all walks of life being able to see themselves in a professional, in a job, in a career path yes, that's great, but also just someone who's having fun. Because why did being an adult mean we had to stop having fun? Why did being an adult mean
Mm.
we had to stop believing in magic? Why? Who said? Who? I want to know because I would like to have a firm conversation with that person.
Hey, my dad told me that to stop believing in Santa Claus.
Father. Oh, no, Dad. Oh, never. Absolutely never. Now, mind you, I do have to tell you that like from one grown person to another, in my home, I did not do the thing with my daughters that Santa is a large, scary man that sort of reverse burgles your house at Christmas time.
Mm,
We didn't do that, but Santa is, he's everywhere. He's the Christmas magic that like, people decorate their homes because he just brings it gets a little bit complicated as a parent when, some kids were getting hoverboards in our community from Santa and then other kids were getting, mittens and hats from Santa because that's what the family could afford. So, yeah, there was a whole conversation with our school community about Santa and what do we do with Santa? Because Santa is a magical tool and magical spirit. Santa is not to make other children feel bad. So we sort of had a little
oh,
adjustment with the Santa in our in our community here.
oh, it's not the bad, not Santa you need to worry about. The naughty kids need to worry about the Krampus.
Oh, I mean, I know a couple professional Krampuses, and I adore them.
Mhm. I'll tell you something funny. And yes, what was I doing? Where did I put the darn thing? Hold on. Yes, I do have, just so you know, I do have an Xbox.
Fantastic.
So I was playing Gears 5 on Christmas. And guess what? I was playing as some of the Christmas characters. I was playing as the Krampus Scion.
I approve.
Yes, he's terrified, along with the abominable grenadier.
Oh,
Uh,
I it's just good fun. If you've ever seen those Krampus parades in Europe, like where I'm like, I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go and be scared by a professional Krampus. I think that that's really fun.
that's gonna be exciting. My only problem is I could not get Gears Miss Marcus. I was too late. School got in the way, and I can't get that skin now since the date's already passed since 2020. So sucks to be me, but it's okay though. I got a few other Christmas costumes I can wear while I'm shooting people.
Excellent.
So it's nothing in the world. So I'll work. And plus, they also got those winter armor characters, so I can wear the winter armor suits.
Yeah, are you
So
able
that
to
counts.
build your own in the game yet? Do they have a
No, you
DLC
can't.
that you can build your own yet?
No, you
That's
can't
too
do
bad.
that at all. You can't do that at all. No matter how hard I try, you just can't.
Well, maybe that's the way of the future, being able to build your own outfits soon because it just helps make everyone happy because no one's ever happy when they release new skins for anything, let's be honest.
So we'll see what they happen, but I will anticipate that. Maybe I can write an email to Microsoft like, hey, put this in the game
Yeah,
so I can try to
exactly. If you're like,
customize.
give me a wardrobe and a closet and I will build my own thing. Thank you.
Exactly. But yeah, but going back to that, yes, don't stop, don't let others tell us that we can't do what we like doing. Listen, and they saying that I'm too young when I get older. I was like, look, I'm still into all this stuff. I don't care what age I get, I'll still be into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you my age, but I am definitely still into it.
Oh, there you go. You don't have to tell me everything. As long as you enjoy what you like, that's all that matters.
That's a mermaid secret, Philip. We don't talk about that.
Of course, off the record. All right. Next up, before the performances and recognition, what did those early days of building this dream actually look like?
Oh, that's a really good question. There was a lot of hunting in regards to where do I possibly get equipment from? Um, things are a little bit, you'll probably hear a lot of people say this all the time. Oh, things are so much easier now to have access to. When I first started, we made things out of, you know, shoelaces. It doesn't matter. But I would say hunting for decent equipment was and for a safe place to swim. That was a really big problem. Um and finding a welcoming community was also a bit of a challenge because I didn't know where to look. I had no idea where people, I'm like, I know you're out there. I know that there's people like me. Where are you? Finding safe places to swim, safe pieces of equipment to swim in that aren't going to drown me, and finding a community were my three biggest challenges, I think, when I first started.
Yeah, those that has to be tough because I know, like, I listen. I guarantee you, all those fins that y'all like, it costs money.
Oh,
Stuff
yes.
that you start out, it costs money. Like, I seen, like, you know how much. Shoot, when I was starting out on this little journey of mine, you know how much equipment I had to spend last year? I spent like almost $1,000 trying to get everything I needed. Like, I had to get ring light system, had to get microphones.
Mhm.
This Yeti microphone I got off of Amazon was $150. So, and the GoPro camera, for goodness sake.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
crazy. It's crazy. But listen, all this stuff, when you start out, it doesn't come cheap. You got to have a plan together.
No, and most of it has to be shipped to us as Canadians. There aren't a lot of makers in Canada. I was privileged. Last year, I got my, I'm going to say, final form, as they say, as a mermaid. I got my full silicone set from a Canadian maker, but most makers in North America are located in the United States. So all of that pricing is in US dollars, and then you have a longer wait time, and then you have to ship it here to you. So that's quite immense. But just to give you a ballpark on how much things cost, my first professional silicone monofin came from the United States, and that ran me back 560 Canadian dollars for just the monofin. And skins for that monofin can run you, if you want all the fins and all the trimmings and trappings, it can run you back between $1,000 to $1,400 for just the skin. And then silicone sets for professionals, matching top and tail, or if you get bracers, or if you get a head. So those head pieces that you see can run you back between either $300 all the way up to $2,000, depending on the maker or what it's made out of. Tops can run you back between 300 and 600 USD. And then the tail can run you back anywhere from 3,000 to 12,000 USD. So when it comes to mermaid equipment, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
That's a lot of money.
Mhm,
That's a
mhm.
lot of money. Like,
Well,
because I
anime
know,
kids
like,
understand. Anime kids understand.
all those crowns and everything, like those crowns,
Mhm.
they got at least, my first kiss was at least $1,500.
Oh, yes. I
Because
actually got actually, I want to show you one of my crowns, if that's okay.
you
Joshua,
sure
would you
you can
mind
show all your
bringing me
crowns.
my crown with the white shells on it, please? And the reason why I wanted to show it to you was because it was made for me by a dear friend. It's on the stand over there, sweetie, over there in the corner. It was made by a cosplayer. And so she made me an underwater crown, unlike any underwater crown in the world. This underwater crown is unique, and I absolutely love it. And I've done several professional jobs in it. I just adore this thing, and it's made out of aquarium safe polyurethane plastic, and it is specialty glued. So this is the crown. Okay, it is formed to my head. Now, what she did that's unique, that not a lot of people have, is you see this front piece here, it's actually a magnet. Okay, so if
Wow.
I want to change that front piece out, there's also other pieces that are magnetized here as well. So if I want to put other pieces on there, I can. And that was the crafting skills of a cosplayer, not a diver.
Wow.
So my realm kind of, merges with the cosplay community because it was a cosplayer that came up with this design. And I absolutely adore it. It helps keep my hair out of my face when I'm diving and swimming. And yeah, so I'm not going to tell you how much that was because my husband's in the room, Philip, and we're going to mind our business. I'm just going to put that down, and we love her.
That's fine. That's
Mm.
fine. You're good. But yeah, like, all that, it's good to have two people. Listen, you want to hear everybody else's opinion and see what they think what's going to be work best. Because, I had to, listen, back when I was in high school, when I was doing like different projects, I had to learn when it was time to listen to somebody and understand, get their perspective on something. Like, you got to ask those questions if you want to be successful.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, ask those questions. Don't hesitate. If you get something wrong, it's okay. You got to get your pride under control and just listen to what the
That
other
is very
person is
true.
telling you.
That is very true, Philip, especially so it when it comes to putting things underwater, doing shows in front of children, there's not a whole lot of space for mistakes underwater. There's not a whole because people not only are children watching, but people have phones everywhere. So your
Mm,
equipment can't fall apart. We can't have a mermaid, you know, show. That's a different show, Philip. So we can't have any equipment accidents. We can't have any slip of a crown or something that's falling apart in the water. These things are tested and tested and tested and tested, and that did take the mermaid community as a whole well over a decade to figure out what materials to make things out of, where to source the materials from, when to ask questions about what your equipment is made out of, all of that. Asking questions and making sure that you have the right equipment and the right maker for you is essential. Otherwise, there will be a disaster that will be forever on the internet. Mm-mm,
mm-hmm.
mm-mm,
Yes.
mm-mm.
So yeah, I be telling people you gotta do your research on these things. Like if I don't do the
Mhm.
research, like listen, every time when I go to like different places, I always research the building and all that stuff and what's to be expected and everything. Like because there was a little example, like like if I would have just like there's like been a few examples, like I'm gonna try to keep it subtle. Like there's this guy who was trying to like watch a certain thing on TV,
Mm.
and all right, fine, I'll get into it. I think about like the NFL and all that stuff, like the Super Bowl and all that
Yes.
stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There was this guy. He was saying and listen, about those 5 million people, who chose to watch that part of the Super Bowl. Oh, that's fine. It's a different story if you were trying to watch the Super Bowl and someone made you watch that instead. And
Mm.
and afterwards they were saying like, oh, he was saying like, hey, I paid to watch the Super Bowl, but you didn't let me watch all the Super Bowl. You made me watch this hunk of shit. And
Mhm.
and it's one thing if your business is like, offering a alternative saying, hey, you can come watch Super Bowl and we're gonna turn it off halfway and turn on, like Turning Point. But is that what you told guess what was going on at that
Well,
time? Yeah.
honesty is always the best policy, and as long as people understand what they're walking into, then they can walk into the room with confidence if that's the room they choose to be in, Philip.
Yep. And then going forward, he was also saying, I also noticed the logo here on your shirt here, which seems to match as the logo for the Zoo Sports Club in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I see a bunch of posts talking about the Super Bowl, and none of them, which I could find, didn't say anything. We're gonna turn it off halfway and turn that on. Like, if you had, I would have been like, well, that guy should have paid attention, but that wasn't what was advertised. And I
That's
think he had a
right.
pretty good reason. And I think he had a pretty good reason to have beef.
Oh, for sure. Again, I think that regardless of what it is that you're doing, as a responsible grown person, you should be asking lots of questions about the room that you're choosing to walk into, regardless of the theme, regardless of the context, because once you're in that room, people see you in that room, people can photograph you in that room, people can video you in that room, and it's going to take a lot of explaining to get you back out of that room. So always go forward with grace and with questions.
Exactly. And do the research first.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you, please. Yes, please. Thank you, please.
Sure thing. Last question, and then we'll be in section 2, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Did you ever have doubts starting out, and what pushed you to keep going anyway? Before we get started, have you ever heard of the term called imposter syndrome?
Oh, that is something I have on a daily, Philip.
Okay.
Like I'm here talking to you. What do you mean I'm here talking to you? Why? Why am I, um doubt is an incredible thing. I came from a background in theater and improv and being on the stage and being an entertainer from a very, very, very young age. I believe one of the first stages I was on was actually a beauty pageant stage as a child. Don't tell my mom I said that. Thanks, mom. Um, I think I was like 2. So my mom knew. My mom knew this child is going to be dramatic and must be on a stage somewhere. She needs her people, right? I think that in order to overcome doubt and in order to overcome, to be honest, fear, like the crowd sizes for what I do can get very, very large. And at times I can see thousands of people a day that come to see me. They're yelling my name. They come to take photographs with me. They want videos with me. It's a lot. And I think what makes it all worth it was the first time I had my first official job, and I had this little girl come around the corner, and she saw me, went and just lost her mind. And I think that was the starting point for me of, oh, I get to be for these children what I was searching for as a child. I didn't have a mermaid. I didn't have a mermaid anywhere in the GTA that I could go and see and, you know, um, take pictures with or ask her questions or play with her hair or whatever the kids want to do. So that moment that I realized that I could use a mermaid character to create the next generation of conservationists, of forest scientists, of microbiologists, marine biologists, freshwater eco warriors. The moment that I realized I could do that, that just completely eliminates any doubt you have. You do it for the children. The end.
I think that's the entire mission of y'all Mermaid A content. Do it for the children. They love it. I've seen so many of y'all go to all these, because I think I saw a person on Mermaid Alyssa. Listen, I've been trying to contact her for 4 years now. She hasn't responded to any of my messages about stuff I was talking about. Like I said, how cool a costume is. Y'all go to so many like MerCons in California, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And y'all do that because y'all want kids to be able to have fun and talk to the mermaids and everything, live out their dreams. And I think that's really amazing to have.
It's also a really it's a different conversation a little bit in places like, there's conventions in California, there's one in Virginia, there's one in Florida. We don't really have a mermaid convention here in Canada because our community is so small. But the number one conversation that's happening with children in regards to the mermaid community and children in these areas is water safety. Here in Canada, the number one cause of children's unalivings in Canada is drowning, ages 4 to 12, drowning. And when we can get a hold of that conversation and we can have, children getting interested in swimming lessons and children getting interested in water safety and people realizing that our waterways need to be cleaned and clear of debris in case, God forbid, anyone falls in, they're not getting trapped under a branch that's underwater, blah, blah, blah. It becomes a much larger conversation. The fantasy becomes a gateway into a tougher conversation like ecology, taking care of the environment, or heaven forbid, accidents and drowning. That's kind of the point. That's the point. Use the mermaid character and the mermaid spirit to sort of introduce a very difficult subject. And that's what I do it for. That's kind of what I do with my mermaid character. I introduce very difficult subjects like proper recycling and, limiting access to plastic. I'm not a purist in any sense of the word, but daily decisions that people make can limit their use of consumable plastics. And I think that that's a really good conversation to have with grown people. And I do that through the spirit of the mermaid because it's fun. I'm like, hey, stop throwing stuff in my lake. Like I have to go and get it and it's cold. Knock it off,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Yeah, you gotta listen. Swimming can be fun. Listen, I learned this from watching NASCAR when I was a kid. My dad told me, racing can be fun, but it can also be dangerous. Like,
Oh, yes.
if you've watched those NASCAR races on TV, there's been a lot of car crashes.
Oh, yes. Oh yes, and it's not. I mean, I wouldn't consider NASCAR is not like hockey. You know, when the hockey people get going and they start brawling and the fans are standing in the street. When there's an accident in NASCAR, it can be deadly. It can be life changing. It could impact the people in the stands. So again, I always have this saying. I say, know your limit and swim within it. Okay, and when it comes to water safety, when it comes to having conversations with parents about making swimming lessons in Canada a priority for their children just as much as the hockey lessons or the violin practice or the piano lessons or whatever it is we're doing, then you're going to create a stronger sense of citizenship, because once we get our people back in the water will be cleaner, it will be fresher, we will have more conversations around how do we keep our water clean and accessible to the people, especially our Great Lakes, because the algae blooms are driving me crazy, Philip. They're driving me crazy, and those are preventable. So
I'm sure you guys will come up with a solution. I mean, look, the good news is y'all talking about it every day. And I
every
think
day.
spreading awareness is key. That's the
Mm.
first key. Second key is how we're going to deal with it. Just brainstorm a plan.
Yeah.
That's all it counts. And I know, and listen, it may take months, it may take years. Until then, we can't do anything special until we take care of what's happening right here, the problem that's at home.
Correct.
So you got it under control so far.
I do my best.
So, all right, we're done with that section 1. Now let's go into section 2, the craft, discipline behind the magic.
Yes.
Now, for someone who only sees the fantasy, what does it truly take to become a professional mermaid?
So again, it depends on your avenue of professionalism that you're going into, because there are professional, like, party princess mermaids that sit on dry land. And now that profession is very, very, very kid orientated. That person should have volunteer hours reading to children, or being comfortable around children. That person's going to need a specific type of background check. That person is going to need, or maybe want, a theater background in improv, study up on the character that you're trying to be, whether you're yourself as a mermaid, like I myself am always myself as a mermaid, or some people dress up as other mermaids, like the Mako mermaids, or Madison from Splash, or Ariel from The Little Mermaid. So if you're there's character research involved, there's tone, there's mannerisms, there's wig, there's makeup. There are a lot of things that go into being a party princess mermaid, and that is not to be disrespected. That is a very respected profession amongst professional mermaids. And then diving mermaids is a separate job that you need to be a diver first. Whether you most of us are level 1 certified free divers, and then the performance gets added. So just because you're a diver, that does not automatically make you a mermaid, and because you're a mermaid, that doesn't make you a diver.
Mm-hmm.
Two different things. But yes, there is a lot that goes into each one of those disciplines, and it is not as simple as buying something off the internet and just going into water. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes we gotta separate, fantasy and reality. 2 different things. Listen, I'm into a lot of stuff, but also there's a lot of stuff going on in our world today that I'm super aware of, because I've been grounded in the reality as well. I want to enjoy what I like doing and like watching and playing, but just got to be aware of my surroundings. Every day when I wake up in the morning, I'm alert 24/7. Like, I don't let my guard down for a second. Because if you do, you pay the price.
That's right. That's right. And mermaids are mammals, so we breathe air. That is a common misconception. Yes. Mermaids are mammals. Anyone can fight me on that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have hair on our heads, and the females would not need seashells. We are mammals.
Trust me. Listen. Exactly. Listen. Even though Ariel can breathe underwater, doesn't mean you guys can in real life, okay?
Ariel's a goddess.
I mean, Aquaman, for God's sake, he's a superhero, but he breathes. Yeah. He's an Atlantean.
Yep, another god. Ariel is a goddess. She is the granddaughter of Poseidon. Okay, so she's a separate being. We don't talk about Ariel. She's a separate being. She's a goddess. She's allowed to do what she wants. She gave up legs for a man. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm very upset with her. Got her legs for a man. I'm very upset. We won't talk about that. Girl.
I I understand.
Oh,
So
the beef I have with her.
true. All right, next one, and this one's going to be interesting. Now, I think you already know the answer to it though. How
Nope.
do you did you train your body to move, perform, and even
Mm,
think underwater?
that's a really good question, Philip. And there's a lot of different aspects that go into that type of training. There is land training, um, strength training, cardio, something what we call breathing tables. And
Mhm.
then what do you do with your mind when you're underwater? How do you not panic? How do you not have racing thoughts? We also train our heart rate to come down when we're underwater. Our heart rate is lower than when we're on land, so that we're actually using less oxygen while we're holding our breath, and CO2 doesn't build up as fast. So there's land training, and then there's in water training. And I think the whole trick for me personally, and this is not going to be the same for everybody, but I feel more alive when I'm underwater. I just sort of feel like that's where I'm meant to be. I sort of feel a little awkward on land, and especially when I'm around other people, and I talk too much and I can be a little loud and weird and blah blah blah. But when I'm underwater, I'm silent, I'm quiet. And it's just the sounds that you hear underwater. When you're underwater, sound is amplified. And if you ever have the pleasure of being in open water and hearing, you know, a boat go by, the sound kind of surrounds your whole body and your whole body vibrates like a hum, like, and it sort of hums from your abdomen all the way up the back of your neck and into the back of your head. And it surrounds you with a new sensory experience. And water, as soon as water touches your skin, it sort of creates this cocoon like feeling of being surrounded by like a cold blanket. It's very comforting to me. I especially love cold water, but I'm a freaky person. Not everyone in the mermaid community likes cold water. I do. But I would say that part of my training was learning how to uh, focus that euphoric feeling and remember, oh, I am a person that still needs to breathe. I need to go up now. I can't just be down here forever. I need to go back up and recover myself and maybe end my dive. Maybe. Okay, great. Let's go do that now. So focus.
When you get in the water, you don't feel any restraints. You feel free.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I have the opposite reflex that a lot of people have. A lot of people have a panicky feeling when they're in the water, and I've never had that. Never. I even staring down in our Great Lakes where the water is black and you're sort of staring down into darkness and you can't see anything. I don't I don't have that. I'm like, oh my God, what's underneath me? No, no, no. I don't have any fear like that. So, I've been swimming with sharks and other scary things. And well, I guess other people would call them scary, but I'm not, I don't have that fear response. My heart rate doesn't go up. I don't get my imagination doesn't go wild.
Mm. And
Nope,
you
I don't
swam
have
with
that.
sharks before?
I had the pleasure with swimming with nurse sharks out in open water. That was a really great experience. I hope that one day maybe I can swim with some bigger ones, but right now, just the nurse sharks.
Okay, they don't try to. They I guess that when they see you there, I think they's like we trust her and all that stuff.
Oh, I would know. I'm harmless. I'm absolutely harmless. I'm just, I'm like their auntie. I'm harmless.
That works too. Listen, I was curious because I was like, how is she swimming with sharks? Like sharks are like, kind of dangerous. But because I was thinking, like, I was like, because I've seen the Little Mermaid movie where they Ariel and Flounder were running away from that shark. I was like, even mermaids get attacked by sharks too. And I was like, aren't you scared of the sharks though, JC?
Not even a little bit. I would say, to be honest, Philip, people scare me more.
Oh boy.
I'm
Do I
more scared
count?
of people. No, you're not scary. You could try, but no, I don't think so. I don't think you're frightening.
I wanted to test that a little serious. I
Yeah,
was like,
you
oh,
showed
she
me your
said poop.
Batman collection earlier. I don't think you're scary, Philip. I'm so sorry. There's nothing terrifying about you. You know.
I can show it to you later if you want to check it out. So it's
Woohoo!
just right now. I just got to get up and get it. So I'll show it to you. Let's continue, shall we?
Yes.
What's the most physically or mentally demanding part of mermaiding that people would never expect?
Great question. I would say the cold water. Cold
Mm.
water. Any water that is below body temperature, you have the potential to go into hypothermia. And in the waters that I specifically dive in and have performed in the past, the water has been between 48 degrees and 60 degrees. And that during your performance, when you're not covered, you're not protected by thermal equipment. I'm essentially in a fancy bra and a mermaid tail, right? Like there's nothing protecting me. The danger and learning how to manage your body in stage 1 hypothermia is quite a challenge. And then learning how to manage your body when you're done diving due to hypothermia, because believe me, being in cold water repeatedly makes you very tired. Very, like on a level of tired, you would think that you've been drugged. You would think that you're on something kind of tired. So yes, cold water. Performing in cold water or diving in cold water is I don't think something that people are expecting when they enter into this line of work.
Wow. Yes. You know how many times if I would have told you when I was listening back in school, I was on the swim team. I won a few things. You'd be surprised like how many times I'm too scared to get in the water because it is freezing.
Oh, that's not cold.
But
That's cool water, Philip.
No, but still, it counts.
Oh, it does not. That is 20 degrees warmer than what I swim in.
Water. It's 3 times worse. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 times worse.
Cool water. Make it dark, make it colder, and put fish in it, Philip.
But dark and cold is not a good combination.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'm like, yay.
Well, you've gotten used to it. I was like, it doesn't phase you as much.
No,
so
not much does. Philip, I've had 2 children. Not much is going to phase me, darling. No. Sorry. Grandma Mermaid over here. Hashtag the Seggy Siren. There is nothing that's going to scare me, really. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Get in the water.
Okay. So, all right. Next one. Here we go. This is gonna be a good one. Ooh. Mermaid tails look beautiful, but what's the reality of performing in one for long periods of time?
Now you're gonna out me. Now you're gonna have me out myself of the smell, the smell and the sweat. So when you're on land, the beast that we all have to deal with is perspiration of the human body and very interesting smells, especially in the foot pocket area or the feet area. It is alarming, the smell that can come from you when you're working on dry land. And then when you're working in water and you're enclosed, especially with someone with a female body, you have to be aware of extreme levels of hygiene. Because I have met some mermaid performers on land, and sweetheart, I can smell you before I see you.
Yeah.
Number 1, you have to make sure that your equipment is properly washed. Do not be wearing things in the water and then wearing that exact same tail on land. No. Otherwise, we all start smelling like scuba divers. God bless them, but don't start me on the scuba divers. They stink. They stink. So wearing a tail, there are parts of your body that are going to be rubbed raw. Your ankles are a weak point. The back of your knees are a weak point. The blistering on your toes. Some of our feet actually end up looking similar to a ballerina's feet. We get dancer toes, if you will, because when we're swimming, our feet are in ballet point at all times. So we're in ballet position the entire time.
Wow.
So like there's a lot of blistering and bleeding and rubbing, and if you're on land you smell bad. So like it's but it's magical, Philip, isn't it? It's just magic. Magic.
Yes, personal hygiene is definitely. Listen. I am from the last few years. I am super more aware of my hygiene. I always brush my teeth before I go to bed as well. So,
oh, great. Yes, always make sure that you brush the seaweed out of your mouth before you go to bed, Philip. I highly recommend that.
Oh, definitely. Wash. Listen. I always, because like I said, like I always go to the like I told you, because I also do go to the gym. I go to the gym. And when I come back, I do smell, but I want to eat first before I go ahead and shower or something.
I need to eat first.
So I do shower, and then when I come out of the shower, I realize, oh, the long and hard part. Well, it's kind of boring, but so I've got used to now just putting on lotion and everything because you'll dry out if you don't put on lotion.
That's a whole other separate conversation too. As a natural girly, is like looking after your curls when you've been in tanks for a while. That's a whole different conversation. So knowing what the type of water that you've been in, how long are you going to be in it, the temperature of the water, whether it's salt or fresh, like all of that goes into what type of personal hygiene routine you're going to be going into. And then there's also looking after your nose, your eyes, and your ears.
Yes, definitely. And guess what? And when I get out of the shower too, like my hair, my hair is going to grow back, but I got a haircut this Wednesday.
Looks great.
So I had to listen when it grows back and I have to shower. I have to put moisturizer in my hair, even though it's short. I still have to put moisturizer in it.
I believe you. That's still skin, under there. Doesn't matter how long or short your hair is. You have to look after your scalp, especially if you want good, healthy hair growth. The end.
Exactly. So perfect. Listen, always personal hygiene. And listen, your job, I think that's a lot to do. You gotta make sure everything's taken care of.
Yes, you do. Yes.
So being a mermaid for a long time, there's some pros and cons to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, everything that you do is going to have pros and cons to it. So just make sure you know all of the pros and cons before you hit the start button.
Oh, yes, please, because some of the cons can lead to really bad smells and infections. So if any of your listeners are hearing this and they have any questions and they need to, message Auntie Mermaid Jacy, please do. I'm here. I'm an open book, and I don't gatekeep, Philip. I don't gatekeep. I tell all the peoples.
Yep. Tell everything.
Here you go. Here it is. Buy this, buy that, buy that, buy that. Use it like this. Go forth and be mermazing, as we say.
Exactly. Well, last question of this section, then we'll be in the next one, okay? Now, what's one misconception about mermaiding you wish you could instantly change?
One misconception about mermaiding that I wish I could change right now. I would, from the general public, I would say the most common misconception that I get greeted with is that it's for children. That mermaiding is for children. And mermaiding, for what I do, is a sport. It's a diving sport. You are holding your breath in something that can weigh as much as 50 pounds, and it's attached to your feet, and your feet are bound in this piece of equipment. So I would never go with the assumption that mermaiding as a sport is for children. Can children be invited to participate in learning how to mermaid? Yes, I can certify children as young as 6 if they are competent swimmers and they can swim 25 meters or more by themselves with no device attached, no water wings, no floaties, no nothing. I can certify a child. The other misconception is that the space from the public, that the space of mermaids is going to always be family friendly, and it's not. It's not. It's just like the mermaid community, or the mermaid spaces are just like the Ren Fair community. There are moments and there are areas, of course, that are always kept family friendly. Some of my favorite jobs that I do throughout the year are Ren Fairs, and people will always forever have a family friendly experience with me. But that's not always the case. And then from the mermaid community, I would say a common misconception is that people think that what other mermaids do is easy. I'm a diving mermaid. There might be land mermaids that think what I do is easy, or vice versa, because I know that sitting on land in the hot sun for hours at a time, greeting people, is a very difficult job to do. So I don't go forth and watch what other people do and just assume that everything is easy. We make it look easy with years of training. It's not easy, but everyone who's willing to learn is welcome to try and hopefully find a good mentor, good instructor, good coach to guide you through that learning experience. But coming into someone else's waters, per se, and assuming what they do is easy is highly disrespectful. Highly disrespectful. So those are the common misconceptions that I would pick up right now.
Yeah, it's gonna take years. Listen, like I hadn't started this thing until like last year in 2025. I just graduated from school. I'm still learning how the whole, journalism and media stuff is working out. It's just it's gonna take time. Stuff takes time. Like, don't rush. Like, there's an old saying, Jacy, quality over quantity.
Correct. Correct.
If the quality of work is good, that's the only thing that people care about, not the quantity. It doesn't matter how many stuff you got, how much that you have. It's about the quality. Like, how many years have you done this? We need to see your resume. That's and as you're saying before, we make you look easy, but in our case, it's not easy because we've been doing this for a while and it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is an immense amount of work, and that's kind of just like a little segue in a self-plug. That's kind of what my panel at Anime North is going to be about. From cosplay to business, how to start doing something like this, because it doesn't really matter if they want to be a professional mermaid or not. Cosplayers can do this too, with their different types of artwork that they enjoy. So
exactly.
Learn from your elders, children.
Learn from your elders. They've been doing this for like 30 plus years. We gotta hear their opinions and their advices.
Correctamundo. And again, we mind our business how old I am. I'm 500 in mermaid years, just so we know. I'm 500 in mermaid years, but other than that, we just shush.
It's okay. No. Remember, we're off the record for that one. We're good.
Thank you. Edit it out. Editing team, take that out. Thank you.
All right. Well, next one is called Performing Life Under the Spotlight. What has been your most unforgettable moment performing as a mermaid?
Oh, you want like a tea story about something? Like, do you want like a good one, or do you want like an embarrassing one? Because
I want the whole enchilada.
Okay, I'll start with a good one. In 2024, while I was performing at an aquarium job, I met a beautiful couple, and they had just gotten married, and they were lovely, and blah, 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 and they came up to me. It was great. 2025, I go back, and they now have a small baby with them who's maybe 6 weeks old. And while I was diving, they held up a sign that said, "We're both named Jacy." So this family had named their baby girl after me after they came to see me the year before. So that was a very heartwarming story. And now for an embarrassing one, because lots of embarrassing things can happen when you're underwater, Philip. I can't see anything, and I have to pretend like I can. Okay, I have to pretend I can. Hello, children. I can't see thing. Can't see nothing. So during one of my dives, I asked a staff member if I could have some fish food so that I could have my magical aerial moment and have the fish swirl around me like I was Aquaman, and just, it was going to be graceful, gorgeous, wonderful, stunning, all the things. They give me a handful of worms, Philip. They gave me a hand. I have worms in my hand. Philip. Okay, great. So I go down, pencil dive, all dramatic. Ah, I have the worms. And I squish the worms with my hand like this. And I just do this in front of my face. Just like that. And you know what happened? Nothing. The fish were terrified of me. They did not come up to me. They did not come and eat the food, Philip. I just had dead worm floating in front of me. As I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting for the fish to come. And of course, somebody on the other side of the glass was filming this when this happened, Philip, because there are cameras everywhere. And I just hear a child go, what's that mermaid doing? The answer, of course, is nothing, child. I was doing nothing. So at the end of a few seconds, waiting for the fish to come, who henceforth did not come, I went, ta-da, and swam back to the surface. And that was the end. That was the dive. And it was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. And oh my God, I wanted to die. I wanted to just die. I just sprinkled guts in front of my face and nothing happened. All right. Well, sad day. Oh,
I was doing my best.
I have another one after you're done, Philip. I do have one more.
I was trying to hold my laughter in and let you finish.
Oh, it gets. Can I do one more? I'll do one more embarrassing story because this. Okay. So I think this was year 2 of my diving show. And I had this silicone, because I used to dive with a wig on before I grew my hair out. And I had this silicone sort of like Wonder Woman type thing on my head. And while I was diving, I had this one pesky little fish that would not leave me alone. He was yellow. He was a yellow lake minnow, and he was just everywhere. And I'm going, oh, shoo, shoo, shoo. Shoo, shoo, shoo. You know, go away, sir. I'm working. Go away. Right. And I dove down to the glass, and like your head goes underwater. And I felt this thing like hit me in the face. And I'm going, oh my God, I have a dead fish on my face. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh no, what do I do? So I go to the glass and I'm there and he's still there. And so I take my hand and I go, and he just swam away. So he wanted a ride, I guess, from the top of the tank to the bottom. And he hit me in the face. And again, there's video out there of this. So I just, again, sometimes the fish will decide that they are the stars of the show and they will embarrass you to no end. So just be mindful. Fish are not your friends. They will get you. Fish will get you.
Even though Bruce and Finding Nemo said fish are friends, not food.
Oh yeah, he's lying, Philip. I am the bigger fish. I will eat all the fish. I am the bigger fish. Me. There's always a bigger fish, and it's me. Little jerk. Like this.
I was about to say, don't say that, but say that to Bruce now. He was, come on. He did he did try to eat Marlin and Dory when he got that blood in his system.
That's right. He had a little bit of a breakdown, which again, I appreciate. I am, Team Bruce.
Team Bruce. Yeah, that's funny. But
but yeah, those are my
fun. That's amazing. But hey, listen, it's not always about the good stuff. It's also remembering the bad stuff too.
Oh yes. Those are my most vivid memories. The bad things are my most vivid.
Yes. Yeah, so that was amazing. Well, shoot, man, I wish you would have recorded those moments so I could see what was happening. Oh well. Wait, nope. Okay, never mind.
I'd have a breakdown. Philip. I'd be like, oh my God. I'm trying to be beautiful.
Okay. I understand. We'll table that discussion later.
Editing team, take that out, please. Thank you.
Next, have you ever had a performance go completely off track? You probably know the answer, but let's continue. And how did you handle it in the moment?
Okay, so I it wasn't a performance, it was more of a meet and greet. And I was sitting on dry land, but a piece of my mermaid equipment was dangling over the edge of a tank. And inside the tank, there were long-nosed garfish, and they're very aggressive and they have very sharp teeth. So a piece of my equipment is dangling, and someone handed me their baby. So I've got a baby. And I'm taking a picture. And the fish jumped out of the water and latched itself onto my tail and was shaking. And I'm going, get off. Get off. Get off. Let go. Let go. Let go. Kind of like you would to a dog. I don't know why I thought that would help. It didn't help. Do you think fish listen? No, they speak fish. So he wasn't listening, and and I'm going, and the people are recording me. They're going, this is so fun. And I'm going, can you come and get your infant, please? Can you come and get the baby? I think that the number one thing to remember, because something is always going to go wrong. Remember that. Number one, something is always going to go wrong when you're improving with the public, is remember that you're there for the children. And remember that no matter what you do or what happens, they think you're magical. And it was probably hysterical to that family. That little fish damaged my tail, and I will be suing him for damages. He will hear from my fish lawyer.
Oh boy. Well, good luck with that. I don't know about shooting fish.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna get him.
Oh my gosh, the fish chewed up your tail. Oh my gosh.
While I was holding on to someone's infant, a baby.
Yeah, you didn't feel the pain through your toes. Wait, actually, no. Actually, you felt the pain through your fin.
Yes, exactly. My fins are very sensitive. How dare you? It's like stubbing a toe. It's like, ow, you know?
Okay, so sometimes fishes can be devils.
Oh, yes. Where anybody who works in an environment where there's animals involved will tell you that you can have some very unpredictable things happen. And the trick is to, remain calm and keep the quote performance or experience going, So I made it sort of funny, let go, drop it, like this kind of thing. I was talking to the fish like he was a dog. And of course he's not a dog. It's a fish.
Fish. Oh, say all that sailing on pirates and all that stuff. Pirates.
Oh, don't even get me started about the pirates. Oh.
I'll tell you something funny. I was actually watching Looney Tunes another day. I was watching Foghorn Leghorn, called Leghorn, like, let's see, Dustin, whatever it's called. So he was taking Egghead Jr. on the ship. He's saying, boy, let's try to play something. Because they're saying every game they play, Egghead Jr. keeps outsmarting him. And it ends up on him being injured and all that stuff. And he was like, 15, like they were sailing. And it was like playing pirates. He was like, 15 men on a dead man ship. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Dot dot da 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 dee bum bum. Rock bop ba da 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 bum bum. Sign on the port bow. We're being under attack, boy.
Yeah. Philip, I think you found your calling in life.
Being pirates.
Yes. The pirates on Lake Ontario.
And then, Egghead was like, no, boy, you're not on the beat. Off your course, that is. He said, move away, boy. And then they shot the cannon and it landed in his mouth, and all that stuff. Like the bowling ball landed in his mouth, and he turned to a bowling pin and fell off the ship.
Of course we did. That would be a very quick trip to Davy Jones' locker.
He was like, oh, man, on the port bow. Oh, man, Boom. He turned to a bone pan. That was funny.
Oh dear, that would be quite a tragic day for a pirate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, man, those old cartoons crack me up.
Oh, I like the ones about mermaids.
Yep. I'm like, have you seen like Han Christian's Little Mermaid?
Oh yes, the classic. But I also think that like people always think that Disney mermaids are nice. I'm so sorry. Have you ever seen Peter Pan?
I have.
They're not nice.
No, they're not.
They're not nice. And in fact, it's actually a really great debate that we have in the mermaid community, because in North America, Disney has been a huge influence as to why mermaids have transitioned to being a thing that entertains children. But if you actually know your mermaid mythology and your mermaid legends around the world, they involve witchcraft, the devil, eating people, drowning children. They are not nice. We're not nice.
That sounds like It sounds like sirens.
Well, a siren is a different beast. I'm talking specifically about mermaids. My Ren Fair mermaid is not nice. I'm not nice to people at Ren Fair. No, I am nasty. I'm like, excuse me, human? You've made me wait. Why? I'm beautiful. Come and take a picture with me right now. That's I'm very demanding, I'm very sassy, and I'm very mean. I'm not a Disney mermaid at all.
Shoot, I better not disrespect you then. Just come and get a picture.
Oh,
I'll make sure to come get a picture with you first.
Thank you. Yes, please.
So, next up, what's it like seeing the reactions from kids versus adults when they experience you as a real mermaid?
Well, the children, their reaction is genuine. Their reaction is genuine. They are so new to this world. They're learning how to do things and how to experience the world for the first time. So their genuine reaction to magic is real because nothing has told them it isn't. Adults, when they have a reaction to me as a mermaid and they're truly embracing the magic, it's because they're tapping into a memory. They're tapping into a childhood memory of something, a memory that was enchanting, a memory of a feeling that was magical. I've had grown women cry. I got to play a character at the 2 different Ren fairs in the States. I played Enchanted Mermaid Barbie. I got to play Barbie. And I sat there and I had grown women cry and scream in my face. Like, just, I'm going, oh, yes, hello, welcome. And of course, like, I have tattoos and, you know, I look a little different. You know, I'm not 19. I'll just say that. We're going to mind our business. I'm not 19. So when they come and sit next to me, my bit with an adult is, you've grown up so beautifully. I remember you. Next time, can you maybe not color on me, please, before you put me back in the box? I'm limited edition. Thanks. Like, that's my bit with the adults. But with children, they're just, they genuinely believe. No one has ever told them otherwise. So I am a mermaid. And I'm sitting there and I'm speaking to them. I am a representative of the water when I'm speaking to a child. And grown women just scream. Men can get a little creepy sometimes, I'm going to be honest. But I did learn a trick from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, which is you give them something to hold with their hands. You then, hello, sir, thank you. Hold this. And then they hold that and you go, seaweed. And you take a picture and you go, thank you. Shoo, shoo. So if someone makes you uncomfortable, give them something to hold with their hands.
Those are good tactics. Those works. All right, so you know what to do when it's a kid, and you know what to do when it's adult.
Correct.
And yes, most women do cry because listen, you're not just performing magic; you're also performing like slices of life into these events as well. Listen, I've seen a few mermaids who do like on TV shows who do like slice of life stuff as well. And you know, if you've seen a lot of shows that do slice of life, we're talking about different situations that's going on in their life. It's really nice to just take a break from all the action. You get the picture.
Oh yes. You need to have a balance. Regardless if you're a mermaid or not, if you're any type of entertainer and you deal with the public, you need to have balance in your life. You cannot remain in the fantasy world all the time, because that's not it's not the reality of the world. You have to live in the real world and be a part of it.
You got to maintain your peace at all times.
Yes, you do.
You know, maintain my peace. I listen every time every time when I get off of these things, I just want to enjoy life for a bit and then come back to it because I don't want to talk about this all the time.
No,
there's stuff that we're doing. Listen, Xbox, Nintendo Switch right here.
Yes.
So just want to play games and just get away from everything. Go to parks and just like, you know, try to, you know, get away, go to enjoy nature for a bit. Listen, today I went downtown my city. I had Ben and Jerry's.
Nice. So, I love a good ice cream in the cold.
They're actually getting ready to build a Ben and Jerry's close to my house now.
Oh, that's going to be dangerous for you. Tell them absolutely not. No.
They're trying to bring Cinnabon, Ben and Jerry's, they're also trying to build a Carvel and Cold Stone Creamery in my close to my house.
No, we must sign a petition immediately. No, stay away so that I have not that near my house.
It's delicious stuff, but
It's
but
the
the thing is,
problem.
I'm gonna watch my diet though. I'm still working
Mhm.
out. Okay, trying to stay healthy. That's gonna be a treat. Okay,
Fair enough.
so
Fair enough.
nothing
Sweet
wrong with
treat.
that.
Sweet treat.
Exactly. So, but yes, maintain your peace. Go on, enjoy. Like, listen, I guarantee you, some of the people that I talk to, whether it's like animation, some people get tired of talking about anime or TV shows. It gets exhausting. I just want to take a break from all that and just enjoy myself.
I completely agree. I think that is a very healthy way of looking at life and maintaining your own self. Because also, Philip, that leads to longevity. A burnout is real, and burnout for your passion or your sport or your special interest is actually really tragic when that happens. So maintaining a balance and being able to set something down to go and do something else is what's going to lead to longevity.
Oh, definitely, 100%, 100%. Last question, and then we'll be in the next section. Okay. Hey,
Woo!
don't worry. We're actually in the halfway point already. But
Hey,
before we continue, are you enjoying our conversation so far?
of course I am. Absolutely. As long as you enjoy listening to me ramble, I could ramble forever about my
Hey,
special interest and my
hey,
passion.
listen. I want you guys to preach.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God.
Hmm.
Because I
So,
shall. I shall. Give me a microphone and give me an ambo. I shall.
so number 13. Has there ever been a moment where you stop and thought, "Wait, did I mess up with that? Wait, oh yeah, wait, I'm in the right place." Excuse me. Has there ever been a moment where you stopped and thought, "Wow, this is actually my life"?
All the time. I look at my friend. I get to perform with some of my best friends, and I look at us and I go, "What is our life right now? Like seriously, what is our life right now? Is this real? Are we actually doing this? Are we actually doing something where we're greeting thousands of people? Okay. I just really okay. So yes, sometimes you need people around you to give you a little bit of a literal reality check. I'm
Definitely
very
a
privileged to
reality
do what I
check.
do.
Listen, I can guarantee you, you do all this amazing stuff, and you take a step back and look around and be like, "Huh, we must can't believe we're doing this."
Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens almost when I'm actively performing, that happens almost on a daily basis.
Hmm. Well, well, guess what? It's a magical life you're building right there, and I think it's you should keep it.
I do my best. Magic does come at a cost, both financially and emotionally. So I'm
Definitely,
gonna do my best.
yes, financially stuff, but don't worry, you're doing the best you can. So I'm not
Hmm.
judging.
Oh, thank you.
Listen, nobody's perfect. Okay, nobody's perfect.
No, and I certainly am not. But I try to make it look easy. Toss toss.
Exactly. All right. Next section is creativity and identity, building a mermaid world.
Yes.
Now, how do you create your mermaid persona? Does she have her own identity, story, or personality?
Oh, that's a really good question. So in the mermaid world, we call them mersonas. And your mersona should be a little sprinkle of you, but also should not be you. It is the separation of creativity and personhood. So Mermaid Jacy is in here, and I can pull her out whenever I need to. But she is not the same person that speaks to my children or speaks to my husband or speaks to my family or goes to the grocery store or sits down and reads a book at the end of the day. That's not the same person. Jacy is her own separate being that encompasses the character that's inside here, and I can pull her out, and she can morph and change depending on if I'm doing strictly a children's show, like in a library. She can morph to that environment. If she's at a Ren fair, she morphs to that environment. If she's underwater in an aquarium, she morphs to that environment. So I can change the character, but and it's still a piece of me, but it's not me. And I know that that's not the same for every performer. And but creating her was a little bit easy for me Because again, like I have an improv background and a theater background, so creating my own, almost like a D&D character, if you've ever built a D&D character, sort of like that. My origin is, I am from Lake Ontario. I'm a freshwater, cold water Canadian fish. I don't come from the ocean. I come from freshwater, and I come from a long line of freshwater mermaids. And I have this whole story about an ancestor that was in a lake in the Himalayan mountains, and a wizard chased her away because he fell in love with her, but she didn't love him back. So she disappeared from the lake and came to Canada, and that's how I got here. She was like, nah,
Amazing.
No, I don't want that. No, thank you.
It's working for you. I accept it.
Yeah.
So don't change it. I just like your bubbly and comedic personality, Jacy. That's why I'm laughing so much. Please do not change that.
Oh, I will try not to. I'm a very old fish. I am old as time itself, Philip. And so changing me is going to be quite difficult.
Let's hope it stays that way, okay? Don't change. Don't change.
Never.
Next, beyond performing, how do you express your creativity through this work?
Oh, I'm a writer. So I have my children's book. I'm working on another children's book. This one is going to be coming out in 2 different languages very soon, French and Portuguese. And I also just got done writing my first full author's, like a full adult novel as well, 65,000 words. So I did that, and now I have the new adventure of the Mrs. Canada journey that I'm on. So that's I've stepped into a completely unfamiliar environment full of beauty queens and models, Philip, and I don't know if I belong here, but they let the goblin in the room, so I'm going to kind of like sneak around and sneak in and see if I can you know what I mean? I'm about to mess something up, and it's going to be great. But that's how I stay creative. Is I just my brain is just constantly going all the time. I need to be fed. My creativity needs to have a place to go, and it needs to be nourished, and it needs to be satiated, and it needs to be controlled. Otherwise, I literally would go insane. If I'm not already insane, which is a debate, I would go insane if I didn't. And I feel like that line from the late Catherine O'Hara in Beetlejuice, when she's like, if you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take it with me. That's me. That's me. So I have to have an output.
You gotta lose yourself in it.
You lose yourself in the creativity. Just go.
Yeah, I've seen one of these shows. It was just I forgot. I was like, this guy was laughing like a maniac while trying to take down the villain. He was like, I can't stop moving so fast.
Yes, it's just
so. And he was like, this guy is crazy, but hey, sometimes crazy is necessary.
Oh, yes. And in my line of work, just a little sprinkle of it will keep you chef's kiss. Mwah.
Exactly. That's how people stay engaged to those kind of things.
I think so.
Exactly. But yeah, you get it. Now let's go back and let's go to the next one. Now you stepped this is an obvious question, but you stepped into storytelling as well. Yes, because you are an author as well. Yes. What inspired you to create your children's book?
Oh, that's a great question. So I launched my children's book in October of 2020. And a few things pushed me into that realm. One was raising 2 children during COVID lockdowns and having them be a part of this little character that I created. I created this little mermaid character to tell them story, because I'm a verbal storyteller as well. My mermaid is a verbal storyteller. That's what I specialize in. And I believe the art form of verbal stories is something that can be a little bit lost in a digital age where children's attention spans can be a little bit shorter than they maybe should be. We get a little bit distracted by technology and things like that. And technology is a really great tool, but having the ability to have a room when I was performing, having an ability full of a room full of little people that are just staring at you as you're just speaking a story and you're changing voices and you're changing your body. So my story came about while I was doing this with my children. And I did this as a way to sort of help alleviate their stress throughout the day, because they were going through something that, my youngest, or my oldest at the time, was only in grade 2, and she was pulled out of school, and now we're online, but we don't get to see our friends, but we can't go see our grandparents, but we're here. And my youngest was about to start kindergarten. Well, what does that mean? How do I sit for circle? What's the O Canada? How do I, whatever. So I created this little mermaid character because my dad did this for me. As a person with autism, I'm highly anxious sometimes, and I can get very socially overwhelmed quite quickly. So my dad used to carry around mermaid dolls on him called My Littlest Mermaid was the brand of the doll. And he'd go, for example, I'm just going to grab something here. And he'd go, Jacy, look. And it would be like my mermaid doll would be in his pocket. So I started to tell these little stories to my girls about, what if there was a mermaid in your bathtub? What would she say? Would she eat cake? Would she only eat seaweed? Would she sing? What would she look like? So we started to build this little character herself, because in the book, my mermaid doesn't have a name. And in all of my stories that I've written, she doesn't change visually, but the children around her change and the circumstances change. So this one is, there's a mermaid in my bathtub. My second one that's going to be published is there's a mermaid on my train. Then I have there's a mermaid in my closet, and there's a mermaid in my pocket. And these were all little stories that I used to tell my daughters to sort of calm them down and get them engaged in fantasy play and fun during quite a stressful time that children didn't understand what was happening. Well, why can't we go to grandma's house? I want to see grandma. We can't do that right now, sweetie. Well, I want to see grandma. I'm like, me too. I miss grandma too. What if our mermaid had a magical shell and she could talk to grandma? Mommy has a shell phone. Maybe let's call grandma right now on mommy's magical shell phone. Look, hi grandma. Like that was how she developed, and that's how that story came to be. So I launched it in October of 2020. My book is going to be 6 years old this year.
That's really amazing. Interesting. You going to make another one soon?
I am. I have it. I've almost completed it. There's a lot of editing involved when it comes to coloring it and things like that, but I have it almost put together completely. And I'm actually hoping that in October of 2026, it will also be launching. And that's going to be There's a Mermaid on My Train. And that's about different ways of transportation and getting, active in your town or with your township to be a little bit more eco-friendly. And the little child character in that story meets a mermaid on the train, and she's like, oh, there's just plastic all in the water, and it just makes me so sad. And this little boy gets inspired to, well, wait a minute, she can't do anything about that, but I can do something about that. So then he goes and he grows up and he goes to the UN and he's talking about clean water and getting plastic out of it and blah blah blah. So that's what that story's about, and that's going to be coming out in October, I hope.
Ooh, I'll make sure to give it a read then.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. You would be more interested in my adult book.
Okay, fine. The adult book. Give me something from you, Jason. I'll read it.
That's very kind of you, Philip.
When I went into town, I actually picked up another book from the bookstore, the comic book store down there on Bronx Street. It was with Batman and the Justice League, but it was in anime style.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was the last one on the shelf. It was only $7, and I was like, "Let's get this today."
It wasn't the last one on the shelf, Philip. It was yours, and it was waiting for you.
So I guess I had a pretty good day. I got ice cream, and I got a new book that I was going to read. So
you had an amazing day.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh, last question of this, and they will be in the last two sections, because the next section is going to be 2 questions, and the last one's going to be 1.
Okay, so let's do it.
So now, number 17, how do you approach content creation when your environment is underwater and constantly challenging?
Content creation for underwater stuff gets a little bit tricky especially if you're first starting out in it, because there's affordable equipment, but using affordable equipment to sort of gain online traction in today's world is a little bit more difficult. My underwater equipment is, I have a GoPro Hero 10 Black, and I also have this beautiful thing, which I will.
Oh yes, I got one of those too. Those GoPro cameras.
Yeah, I got a GoPro. This here is called the Sea Frog. And this is an underwater housing for my Sony A7 III camera. And these are very expensive babies. And this is what I use to take underwater photos of clients. Okay. So the Sea Frog keeps my professional camera safe underwater. And there's a lot of different underwater housings you can use for professional cameras. I just prefer this one because it's lighter weight for me. But I got the privilege to work with a professional underwater photographer while I was in Florida recently, Scott Odette Underwater. And his rig is massive. So he can, he would be able to film movies on that kind of thing. So
I can imagine.
Accessibility in Canada for this type of thing is very difficult. Pricing can be very difficult. Maintaining things like this can be difficult, and also having a consistent need for something like this can be difficult, which is why it is so important as an underwater creator to diversify. So this houses my camera, and I can also take my camera on land and also do photos of clients on land as well. So, but this is my baby. This is my Sea Frog, and I love her.
Wow, that's a lot of equipment. Shoot, and I thought my microphone GoPro camera was expensive, but it looks like I spoke too soon.
No, so did you see my microphone? I got a Rode. You see this baby?
Rode microphone, all that stuff. Yeah, this one I'm using, it's the Yeti.
I love the Yetis. They're so good, and also they're not only good because they're available. They come in fun colors.
Yes, pink, black, white, blue. I chose this one because blue's my favorite color.
Oh, fantastic! I don't have a favorite color.
Oh, really? No.
I would say like opal.
I got it. I got you. Opal. Some of these microphones I got last year. It's also the DJI as well.
Oh yes, it's a good clippy one. Yes.
Yes, I use the DJI. So
is that the one you use for like when you're out and about doing interviews with people? Like,
yeah, of course. And sometimes you do like short videos at home. Pretty much, you can have to your mouth like this, so you just talk about like certain situations. So, I also got the Rode Wireless Pro as well.
Yes. It's a little bit more expensive. Are you going, Philip? Are you going to Toronto Comic Con this weekend or to Anime North at all?
No, I'm not in that section. Unfortunately, I'm based in Georgia.
Oh, I understand. Oh, okay. Hi, Georgia. Nice to see you. I was just in your neighbor of Florida. I was just in Florida not too long ago. So I flew over to top of Georgia.
Yes, you did. But I am trying to go to more conventions. I am trying to go to at least another convention in June. It's in Florida, of course. And I was also going to check out the one in Savannah because there's a special guest that I want to see, and she's coming back to my convention after 2 years.
Wow.
2 years I haven't seen her in a while. So I'm trying to sign up for like, the thing is, if I want to have like one-on-one conversations with these guys, I have to sign up for a media pass. So I'm trying to do my research about what that is and what the steps. Because the thing is, I've actually just emailed the director at that convention. He knows who I am. He's a nice person. I just emailed him saying, is there any steps we need to take in order to make this happen? If so, let me know so we can talk more about it. So it's a work in progress because some of these people that I tried to talk to, they're like pretty huge. And it's like it's going to be a while before I even get to the Jacy. I'm not sugarcoating this. I'm not sugarcoating this, Jason. It's going to be a while before I get to that point. I just, like I said, I just started out. This year I started season 2 of this thing, so it's going to be a while before I get to that point. But like we said before, quality versus quantity, right?
Very much so. Very, very much so. And also, every small step that you make towards that goal, if that is a goal for you, just adds to your credibility, your consistency, and your visibility within the community. And I think that that's going to be the number one road for you to get to where you want to go. Because as you can probably tell, or as you would know, getting that close and personal to one of your idols, to a celebrity, to someone who does it, could be a safety issue if the person is not credible. So every person that you do on this podcast, it adds to your credibility and your visualization within the certain community. One step at a time, my
And
dear.
listen, exactly. And listen, I just want to talk to people. I ain't trying to be famous or nothing. I ain't got time for all that famous crap that's going on.
Lies. Don't lie to me, Philip. I can sense human lies when they are told to me.
I'm just a person who just wants to talk because not only are you guys like different people like mermaids, VAs, or whatever you are, you guys are still people at the end of the day, and I just want to talk.
Yes, we are.
So I hope you understand. Listen, I will shout it out on top of a mountain if I have to. If I have to lose my voice in the process, I will do that also.
Oh, don't be shouting now. Sometimes the greatest noise can happen in the quiet. Don't worry.
Yeah, sometimes I be preaching to the choir.
That's right. We're preaching to the choir. That's okay. I was a member of the choir. I'll sit and listen.
Yeah. So, well, next section, we're getting close to the end. It's only 2 questions: community and impact.
Yes.
Now, how big and connected is the mermaid community behind the scenes?
That's a really, really good question, because I think that there are some of us that understand we have to play nice in certain areas of the community. And what that means is you don't have to be everybody's friend, but you should be a friendly person. You don't have to go out to dinner with everybody, but you should extend the invitation anyway. You know, not everybody has to have your personal phone number, but you should answer that DM. And I think that if you go around in any space being offended or bothered or someone who's, I can't stand this and I won't put up with that, and that can be really great, but you might end up alone. And water connects everyone. Water connects the entire world, and water doesn't even care if there's a rock in the way. So being more like water as a person, especially when it comes to community and connection, is essential to life. When you're young, people tend to be very, very vocal social justice people, and people get offended and angry and they're fighting with this person online. And as you get older, it's not that passion goes away. Of course it doesn't go away, but you realize that you make a bigger impact when you're quiet. Responding in anger to nasty comments is not the way to go. Responding in anger to a call out post is not the way to go. The person who's loudest in the confrontation or in the fight is people see them. And yeah, that might be entertaining for some people, but realizing that they're talking about another human being and they're talking about someone's life. And I've seen people get bullied out of communities, or God forbid, hurt themselves due to online harassment and online hate campaigns and whatnot. So I don't participate in any of that. I rarely participate in the community online in that way. I used to when I first started a lot, because I thought that's where I needed to be, and I don't need to be there. I have my group of Toronto mermaids that I hold very close and dear to my heart. Some of them were my first students after I got certified, and they go out. I have one of my students that I taught. I taught her underwater modeling. She's a stunt woman in Hollywood. She does stunts in TV shows and movies. Um, I've had the opportunity to work with someone who is, they're circus performers. I've worked with people that just do this for a passion for physical fitness. I have people that have started businesses. But so that's who I keep to. I keep to my own, and I manage my own, and I stay within my own network. And basically I literally mind my business. If it's my business, I mind it. If it's not mine, I don't participate, including when other people have my name in their mouth. What other people think of me is none of my business.
That's so sweet, Jacy. I like that.
It is what it is. And Philip, years ago, I tried to join an online hate group on Facebook for Mermaid Jacy, and they wouldn't even let me join. And I was sad. I was like, wait a minute, guys, I've been hating on me for more than 30 years. I can do this better than you. Let me in. Let me in. I want to know. Let me in. They didn't let me in. And then they deleted the group, and I was sad. I was like, unfair.
All that trollery.
I'm a very secure woman. I got 2 beautiful daughters I couldn't be prouder of. I have a husband who adores me. I have my own house. What do I need to be bothered by? Not much. Like I said, I'm not scared of sharks. You think I'm scared of those people? No.
There you go.
I'm busy, babe. I'm busy.
Nothing wrong with being productive.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, after that, for someone listening who feels inspired, what's the real first step into this world?
So let's go. I'm gonna do 2 different routes. Let's say that you are already a competent swimmer. Like Philip, you just told me that you were on the swim team. So I already know. So I will be expecting you to be in a mermaid tail very soon. If you can swim, and a competent swimmer, because unfortunately I do know some people that are like, I can swim, and then you put them in the water and they look like they're drowning. It's very sad. So you actually have to be able to swim. The swim test is 25 meters by yourself with no assistance, no floaty devices, no pool noodles, no water wings, no nothing. Go swim at the surface. After that, I encourage people to find either a local mermaid group, and most of them you can actually find on Facebook, especially if your listeners are listening from the United States and or Canada. You can find your local mermaid pods, as we call them, on Facebook. Okay, Facebook, there's a massive community of local groups. Start there. Introduce yourself. Say, hi, I'm interested in mermaid swimming. What would you recommend? They will point you in the direction of equipment. They will point you in the direction of certification. If that's where your passion lies. They will point you in the direction of a swim coach, if that's where your passion lies. But getting connected on Facebook to a group of like-minded people that are already doing this is essential. If you are somebody who's interested in doing this, but you cannot swim, I suggest finding adult swimming lessons near you, which again, they do exist, and there is no shame in wanting to get in the water. It is a beautiful thing that is celebrated by all.
Yes, that's definitely a start. Networking, go talk to people. Like I said, you never know what you're looking for until you start asking the right people. It took
Correct.
me
Remember
a
how we
long
said ask the
time
right
to
questions?
Yes.
Ask questions, Philip. Ask questions.
Ask questions. Exactly. Ask questions. If you're not sure, don't hesitate to ask. We're here to help.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And if they're not going to be helpful, you don't want to be a part of that group.
You don't want to.
Yeah,
well,
thank you.
We are at the finale now. Reflection and legacy. Now, at the end of the day, what does being a mermaid truly mean to you? And what impact do you hope to leave through it?
Being a mermaid to me sort of means that I want to be someone that my mother is proud of, but that my daughters look up to. That's what it means to me. My mother was heavily involved and is heavily involved to this day in my performance space, wherever it chooses to take me. And my daughters are, I'm attempting as a mother to shape them into independent thinkers that are self-aware and assured and confident. So if I make my mother proud and I give my children something that, is cool. Hey, look what mom does. That's kind of cool. Then I think as a mermaid, I've sort of done it. In regards to what I hope I leave behind, I want to leave behind a playbook for Canadian mermaids who want to do what I do to follow, to come along and do it, to come along and pursue a life of whimsy and magic as a career. As a career. As a Canadian, these jobs are few and far between, and it is almost impossible, regardless of actually if you're Canadian or an American, it's almost impossible to carry this as full-time work. And I don't actually know a lot of mermaids who do. I might know maybe 4 or 5 of them, and most of them are my American counterparts in the States. But almost all of us go out and do regular full-time jobs. And I hope that the struggles that I went through trying to find, insurance and a good place to swim and trying to find equipment and testing equipment and learning what to do when you're diving in cold water and learning where not to swim and all these mistakes that I've made in my journey, I hope that the next generation of mermaids that comes up underneath me has a much easier time than I did, because I didn't have anybody to ask questions to. I didn't have that. And I had to sort of create my own space and sit and have hours of agonizing conversations with insurance companies and hours of conversations with pools and conversations back and forth with certifying bodies and beg them to whatever. I want other people coming up underneath me to have an easier time than I did. So that's something that I want to leave behind. I want what I've built, Philip, to outlast me when I'm gone. I want
gotta make sure. God plant seeds, tree, and let it sprout. Just want to have something that people are going to remember you for. That's all. That's all.
It?
Yes. Yeah. That's God. That's all people want to know. That way they can fully understand this person's story and how they can do their own part as well.
That's right. I want to leave behind. I understand that I'm probably not going to see the fruits of it while I'm here or even while I'm performing, and that's fine. But I want to leave something beautiful behind.
Of course. Well, I guess that wraps it up. Did you enjoy our conversation today?
Of course I did. My goodness, you asked very insightful questions. That some of them were actually difficult to answer, and I hope that you enjoyed my rambling.
Hey, again, I want you to preach.
Yes, give me a microphone. Oh, look, wait, you did. Hello.
Gotcha.
Can I get an amen? I get an amen.